which he needs to stop drinking. Like, if you keep ending up in places you don't know how you ended up there, that's a key that you should just put the alcohol down and give it a rest, okay? It's not for you, sir. Let it go. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Arii, and if you don't know me, my name's Arii, and today I am back with another video. Today we're doing a series on my channel where I talk about anime while I do my makeup. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel right down below. Give this video a big fat thumbs up, and then also make sure to like this video, okay? Like, help me get on the algorithm by liking and commenting. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay guys, so today's anime is Dakaichi. I don't know if I said it right. This anime is a hot mess, to say the least. Before we talk about this anime, because honestly this anime, if I move too fast, we're gonna be over before I finish my makeup. So today's anime is a yaoi. If you guys don't know what a yaoi is, it's just Japanese for boy ex boy. Basically a romantic interest between two boys. Now this anime, it's good in the yaoi category, but it has no plot. Like, no plot whatsoever. No plot. Also, I want to mention, if you haven't seen it, spoilers. And also, again, there's adult themes in this anime, so if you're not supposed to be watching this, don't watch it, okay? Okay. Our main character is Takato Saijo, if that's how you say his name. In this anime, he is a famous actor. He's very famous, and he's very popular. There's this little list, or this little thing they got going on, where they make a list of the top guys that they want to hug, which is a weird way to put it. Like, you could just put like sexiest actors or sexiest celebrities, but no, it's the top people you want to be hugged by. So Takato Saijo, for 5 years, he has remained number one. He has a lot of ego. He has a lot of pride. He actually cares about the fact that he's number one. But then one day, he's not number one anymore. Guess what? He's number two. And all of a sudden, he has this role in a movie or a show. I think it's a movie or a show. I don't know what it is. And he is now going to be acting beside the guy who took number one, that booted him out his spot. So the guy, which his name is going to be Junta, they end up co-starring by plot coincidence. You know how plot loves to bring two characters together by coincidence. Since Takato has a big ego, he sees Junta as a rival, as someone he needs to beat, but Junta has the exact opposite mindset. Okay, so here's where things kind of start to get twisted, like real quick. So Junta ends up asking Takato to take him out drinking when they're done shooting, so that he can teach him some tips on how to act better or to improve his acting. And now obviously Takato wasn't going to do it, but his castmates kind of like pressured him into doing it, so he ended up doing it. They end up going drinking. And next thing you know, literally the next thing you know, like the next scene after that, Takato wakes up in bed next to Junta. Girl, I sat there and I was like, are you serious? Like, this was 7 minutes into the show. First episode, 7 minutes, and you're already in someone's bed. What is going on? I'm confused, I'm distraught, I'm disgusted. So anyway, Takano wakes up, he's in Junta's bed. And he's kind of like, okay, well, how did we get here, right? Because how did we get here? So basically what happened was Takano got super drunk. He got so drunk that I guess Junta had to bring him home. But Junta doesn't know where he lives. So instead of taking Junta home, because he can't take him home, he takes him to his apartment and lays him down. Also to mention that Takato is naked too. So the reason why he doesn't have clothes on is because he threw up on his clothes. Which, mind you, anime loves this little trick. Like, I'm telling you, this is the #1 anime cliche. Why are you naked? Where am I? I'm naked. Oh yeah, you threw up and I had to take clothes off. But look, I didn't do anything. Like, that's how they go in every single anime. Junta has a recording of what happened. So while he's explaining everything that happened, Junta is showing Takato, and he's like, here, this is what happened. Like, look at the phone. This is what happened. And Takato, you know, being Takato, his first thought, which actually is a pretty normal thought, his first thought is that Junta took the videos to blackmail him and ruin his career. So, because that's what he thought, he was like, oh, ha ha ha. What do you want me to do to make this go away? I'll do whatever you want. Now, this is where he messed up. This is where he messed up, bro. He messed up. So apparently, Junta wasn't trying to ruin his life. Junta's actually obsessed with him. And so he decides to tackle Takato, get on top of him, and kiss him with zero consent. Zero consent. Now, we're gonna have to have a serious conversation. We're gonna come back to this. Okay. I'm gonna come back to this. Okay, so Takato's caught by surprise. He's like, whoa.
Whoa, what the hell is you doing?
Oh my God.
We ain't never did that before. Why you thought today was the day to do that shit?
So he ends up kicking Junta in the stomach and he runs away. Like, he runs away towards the nearest door that he can lock himself in so that he can get away from Junta. And this is where this scene happens. Now guys, that scene was intense. Oh. No. Before we have this conversation about how wrong this is, girl, them abs, come on out, like, please, like, I would love to switch spots. Now, hold on. Let's have this very serious conversation. This show is basically like Junta's harassing him, but they make it seem like it's okay. Which, like, okay. Let me try to explain this easier for you. Everything that Junta is doing is wrong. Do not try this at home. Do not try to kiss and tackle someone that you're in love with, because you're gonna end up behind bars. But this is an anime, and anime, they romanticize things that they shouldn't romanticize, like, which is like, like, that's a whole other conversation. But like, I think that it goes without saying that everything happening in this anime is wrong, because Takato never gives verbal consent, if you guys are understanding me. So now that we've established that it's wrong, but because it's an anime and because it's a yaoi at that, yaoi tend to be more dramatic, I guess you could say. It's supposed to like give you a fantasy or whatever the case. Yaoi is almost as if a 13-year-old off of Wattpad wrote it, okay? Now, continuing on with the story, we'll come back to the conversation. When they return to work, it's a bit awkward, as you can tell. Like, yeah, that would make things awkward. But Takato ends up helping Junta improve his acting as if nothing really happened. And after that, they go home together. And in this, I guess at this point, it's assumed that whatever they have going on is mutual consensual at this point. But Takato still basically calls it harassment, which is confusing. But yeah, and like I said, the show really has no plot. So the second episode is kind of like, I guess time passes and Junta is clingy as he always is. But Takato gets like really used to him being clingy, and then all of a sudden, like, Junta just starts ignoring him out of nowhere. Like, all's well, because honestly, the only reason why Junta was ignoring him was because Junta was sick. He was sick, and he didn't want to get Takato sick. Aww. Which is, like, it's a pointless episode, if you ask me. Like, it really has no point. It has no plot. It has no storyline. But it's there to serve the fantasies of, like, female anime fans. Like, because who wouldn't want to see two cute anime? Okay, like, that's what it's there for, but it has no plot, which is disappointing to me because I've seen yaois that have plots, like Killing Stalking, which, okay, maybe I shouldn't compare it to Killing Stalking, but Killing Stalking, like, as messed up as it was, there was a storyline. Like, there was a whole story to tell, and I feel like that's what they should do more. And I've read a manga that was a yaoi, and it was an actual storyline. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why they have to over sexualize yaois, because they don't really tell it in a story. They tell it more for, like, fan service, if that makes sense. Like, even in the third episode, they just focus on how Junta is really touchy in public places. And I guess it kind of just gets weird at this point because they want us to assume that there is a mutual interest, that everything is consensual. But, like, they're on the bus and Takato is basically like, you're harassing me, stop it, don't do that.
力抜けた。ここロケバス。ね、良くなりました。誰がよくなんかざけんな変態が。
Well, excuse me, like, there's a line, like, there's this line. Let me just say, they're walking down a thin line. Like, I'm saying, like, if you, Takato, if you like Junta, just admit it. Because sitting around and saying that he's molesting you, even though he's not, at this point, but then he kind of is, because Takato never verbally says yes. But, like, in his head, he's kind of saying yes. But that's not an okay. Like, I don't know how many times I need to explain this. I think we get it. So anyway, that scene was a hot ass mess. They end up doing, like, interviews and stuff like that, and they end up having a photo shoot, which really has no purpose, literally no purpose, but for fan service. You know, we get these cute pictures of Takato and Junta together. And the fourth episode is, again, just another pointless episode where Junta gets upset that he didn't know Takato when he was younger. So he forces Takato into a uniform and drags him to a classroom, which I don't explain. Like, was the classroom, like, a set? Or did they really go to a school? I don't know. And he makes him dress in a uniform as cosplay. The absolute closest that we get to plot is this little arc that happens when we meet a new love interest, because it wouldn't be a yaoi without a love interest. So we meet a whole new love interest, and his name is Arii. Now, Arii is an actor, but the reason why he's successful isn't because he really has talent. You know, he's an average actor. The reason why he's successful is because he sleeps with people to get to the top. That's why he's successful. He's a whore. Now, Arii ends up in a role with Takato, and I guess he ends up feeling an attraction for Takato because when they're acting, Takuto's acting is so good that he stops in his tracks or he can't remember his lines. Which, to be honest, if I'm going to point out this scene, I feel like his acting wasn't, I'm not going to say his acting was bad, but I'm just going to say, like, I've seen animes, skip beat, where they show anime characters who have exceptional acting skills, and I feel like the animation and the way they present the scene just didn't show Takuto for as good of an actor as they claim that he is. So I'm just gonna say that. But anyway, yeah, back to what I'm saying. Ayagi ends up getting attracted to Takuto. When they go to the backstage room after they're acting, Ayagi literally harasses Takuto. Like, literally, let me stop saying literally. He comes up behind Takuto and he, like, just touches him, and it makes him feel uncomfortable. And now this is very well harassment. This is sexual harassment. Literally, he should be fired for this. And he definitely, it made me uncomfortable just watching it. But yeah, he was surely wrong. Surely wrong. As you can guess, where this happens, the whole cast decides to go out drinking. Right. Drinking. They decide to go out drinking. And guess what happens? Bro, just guess what happens. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Takuto wakes up in someone's bed again. Like, what? I couldn't have guessed it. He ends up in Ayagi's bed, Ayagi's hotel room, I think it is. And while Takuto is passed out drunk, Ayagi ends up, like, touching on him and stuff and getting all up in his face and stuff like that, which is like, oh, back up. And he ends up, like, leaving this, like, mark, this kiss spot, love bite. Yes, I want to call it a love bite. He leaves a love bite on his, like, collarbone. And in the midst of that, guess who calls? Junta calls. And then guess who picks up the phone? Ayagi picks up the phone. And now, like, it's awkward because Ayagi makes it seem like him and Takuto have something going on, even though they don't have anything going on. He literally is drunk and incapacitated. So, he hangs up the phone, and the next day, mind you, Takuto doesn't know that any of this happened because he was passed out drunk, which he needs to stop drinking. Like, if you keep ending up in places you don't know how you ended up there, that's a key that you should just put the alcohol down and give it a rest, okay? It's not for you, sir. Let it go. Junta calls him to ask about what happened, but Takuto lies. Oh, never lie. Takuto lied and said, nothing happened. And when I say nothing happened, he means in the sense of, like, he claims, like, he was sleeping all night, Like, he was never with anybody, even though Junta knows for a fact that that's a lie. So, Junta's cute, okay? When Junta's mad, he eats Tic Tacs, which is really, like a crazy person. Like, he eats Tic Tacs like a crazy person, and it's amusing. But anyway, yeah, so Junta rushes up to the set, and he actually runs into Ayagi before he runs into Takuto. So there's this, like, really nice scene.
このまま飲みに行くからつって俺問題起こしたことないっしょお前昨日のやつか東谷潤太昨日高戸さんの電話に出た男はお前かは
Yeah, that scene, sir, like, ignoring everything wrong with this anime, I wish somebody would get that mad for me. Like, let me tell you, homeboy was pissed. Like, if looks could kill, oh, you'd be dead. Which, speaking, like, on that topic, I kind of feel like anime, like, me, I grew up watching anime, and so I feel like one of the reasons why I suck with relationships is because I always expected relationships to be like anime relationships, if that makes sense. Like, in the sense of, if you care about me, you only care about me. If you see me with someone else, that angers you. Like, the typical, not everything, like, I think I could obviously tell what was unrealistic, but, like, certain things I expected, but no, like, reality hit me. And so I was loving, like, an anime character, but, nobody told me that people cheat. Like, anime characters don't cheat. Like, once they fall in love, they're in love forever. Like, what is forever? Like, they're getting married and they're dying together. That's it. So Takato and Junta end up getting into a spat because obviously Junta's upset, like, you're mine, you're only mine, you can't be anybody else's, and you're gonna let him kiss you, but I can't. Yeah, so he's pissed. But he ends up confronting Ayagi, and he basically ends up blackmailing Ayagi. He's like, bruh, I know what you do to get ahead in this industry, and if you don't leave my mans alone, I'm gonna expose you. Basically what he did. And then, you know, all's well, all's happy, and they're back together again. So that's great. Okay, so yeah, the last plot-driven thing we get is there's a reporter who's trying to get scoop on celebrities, and Takato ends up falling down the stairs, and he falls into, like, Junta's arms. So the reporter catches a photo of that and basically releases it to the public. Now, because he released it to the public, and currently Takato and Junta were getting ready to film part 2 of whatever they were filming the first time, he got kicked off the cast because the rule is no scandal, no drama. But Junta wasn't kicked off because Junta's face wasn't in the photo. It was just Takato. So also Junta's the lead, so they wasn't going to kick Junta off, but they kicked Takato off. But lo and behold, the reporter actually caught, like, foolproof photos. Like, the photos that the reporter put out were just like, oh, they look cute together type stuff. But the other photos that the reporter has is like, yeah, these celebrities are dating. Like, it's fact. It's not speculation. It's fact. So Takato decides to take one to the team because he doesn't want to ruin Junta's career, which is just taking off. So he decides to do whatever the reporter wants, so that they can get off the hook. But that backfires because Junta ends up making a deal with the reporter instead to give him a better scoop. Basically what he does is he fakes a relationship with one of his with his castmate, which is a girl. He fakes a relationship with her. He releases the photos to the press, and then he goes on the news and he basically just says that the photo with Takato was because he fell and he was clumsy. And so now they made a joke about how Takato's clumsy, and they basically, like, erased this bad image he had in the media. And then on national television, he said that he did admire Takato, and so that they're gonna move in together and they're gonna live together so that he can learn from him, which is basically his clever way of being able to move in with Takato without the public suspecting that they have a relationship because they're down low. I guess in this show, they never come out as gay. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's in Japan. It's not okay to be gay, but shoot, I say just come out. Like, damn, ain't no point in hiding it. But yeah, they hide their relationship throughout the entire thing, and it basically ends. Like, it doesn't. There's more that happens after that. Like, they have this whole Christmas thing going on. Really, all that happens is Takato ends up giving Junta a ring. They get couples rings. They move in together, and we assume that they're happy and they live together for the rest of the show. So they get a happy ending. But I feel like, personally, this show had a lot more potential than, like, I mean, like, if you're just watching it because you want to see yaoi, it's great. I recommend it. Like, if you just want to see yaoi, it is great. But if you actually like to watch something that has a plot, this show's not for you because this has no plot at all. Like, I'm telling you, I'm gonna forget what happened after a month. If somebody asks me what happened, I'm gonna be like, I don't know. Because there was no real meaningful events in this show. Like, the only focus is that these two people are in a relationship. And even that relationship, they don't develop. I personally feel like they don't explain too much as to why Junta loves Takato. Like, there is a whole episode dedicated to, like, how they met and stuff like that. But like his reasoning for being so obsessed with Takuto, and I mean he is obsessed with Takuto. There is no literal reason for it. Literally, there's no reason for it. Like I don't get it. I'm gonna try to do my hair while I talk about it. There's like no reason for it. He liked Takuto for his personality and because he was a good person. But it's like if you like somebody, just tell them that you like them and build a relationship with them. If they consent to one, don't just like be obsessive and tackle them down and think that that's okay. Like they didn't really explain why he has such a big obsession. Like it wasn't a good enough a reason. And Takuto, I didn't feel like obviously I feel like Takuto liked Junta, but only because Junta chased him. Like that's the only reason why he liked him, to be honest. Like I feel like if Junta would have never did anything that he did in the show, Takuto would have never liked him. Like it wasn't a personality type thing. Like it wasn't like, oh, you have a great personality so I like you. No, like he got used to Junta's presence and that's why he likes Junta, which I don't know if that's a valid reason to like somebody. But I just know that they didn't do enough character development, personally. They could have tried to put some plots in. Honestly, like, I didn't have high hopes because nothing will ever beat Dakaichi Hatsuku. I love Dakaichi Hatsuku, which, to be honest, it didn't have much of a plot either. But at least the show was like, there's a lot more character development. There was a lot more reasoning behind why the characters liked each other. There was a lot more episodes that just felt right. Opposed to this one where everything was just all over the place, to be honest. But I mean, at least the animation was pretty good. The characters were good looking and the animation was good. I'll give them that. The title sequence was good. Like, everything was good except for the plot. They could have done so much more with it, if you ask me. And I feel like Takuto, personally, like, he's just funny because Takuto, like, when you look at him and you don't know who he is, he gives off such top energy. Like, he gives off, like, I'm the man, I'm the boss. He gives off top energy. But, like, once the minute a guy touches him, he's a bottom through and through. And I'm just like, where did this energy go, sir? But yeah, like, he just loses all of his energy, like, completely. And I'm just like, sir. And also, the last thing I want to add in is there's this, like, random scene in the show, which I don't know when but there was, like, this random scene where the director tackles Takuto to teach him some type of lesson or something, or to test him. And I just want to ask why. Like, why was that included? That didn't need to be included. Like, it's just like, this show just wants to harass people. Like, it's literally harassment. Like, what happened between Takuto and the director was, once again, harassment, but they don't really show it like that. They romanticize it, which is another thing. Like, they romanticize it and it's wrong. So if you're a younger audience and you don't know better, you might be thinking, oh yeah, I totally want this. But like, no, like please don't romanticize this stuff. Like, it's completely wrong. Like you should not do that, especially not in like a workplace environment when you're working with other people and stuff like that. I feel like this show sends the wrong message if you're not smart. But like, for yaoi purposes, if you're just watching something for a quick look, yeah, it's good, I suppose. So anyway guys, with that being said, if you guys have any anime recommendations for me, please let me know in the comment section below. I'm thinking I'm gonna do either Beastars or Banana Fish. I haven't watched Banana Fish, but I have watched Beastars and I just want to talk about it so much. So either Beastars, Banana Fish, or The Great Pretender. And I'm also definitely, for sure, I am going to be doing a race. I was supposed to do that weeks ago, but I never got to filming it. So I'm going to be doing a race. If you guys have any other anime recommendations for me, please leave that down below. If you guys like this video, leave a thumbs up. And with that being said, bye.